Senator Brown, we're delighted to see you here at this committee. Please
Thank you,
proceed.
Madam Chair. It's an honor to be in front of your committee. Senator Vitter, Senator Crapo, two Banking Committee colleagues of mine whom we've worked well together. Thank you for that. We come in front of committees and introduce people from our states with some frequency, especially if you represent a state as large as the chairperson does. But many of these, I don't know the person very well, or I've only met that nominee once or twice, and I consider Mayor Williams a friend. I remember when my wife and I had brunch with him and Sonya's sitting about 3 rows back, his wife, in Youngstown, soon after Jay took the oath of office as mayor of Youngstown. And I've worked with him up close and watched him up close for 7 years since. I've seen his progress as a very young mayor of Youngstown to his work as we colloquially call it the auto czar, where he is very sensitive to the issues that matter so much for our state, to his appointment now to the Department of Commerce, especially focused on EDA. And I look at Youngstown, and Senator Portman certainly knows this too. You look at the comeback of Youngstown, a city that once was, I believe, 180,000 people, that is now less than half that size. But I can see the all kinds of turnaround examples in the city of Youngstown, in the Mahoning Valley, up along the steel, sort of the steel corridor of Route 422. And what Jay's role in this, from his work with the Youngstown Business Incubator, which has attracted EDA monies because it's known as one of the best incubators in the country. It's been very successful bringing young people back to Youngstown, and for entrepreneurs and starting businesses, and in leveraging federal dollars into serious numbers of companies with increasing number of employees. I saw his work to attract, with the Recovery Act and enforcement of trade rules, to attract V&M Star Steel, a French company, to invest in the Mahoning Valley, hundreds and hundreds of steel jobs back in Youngstown, Ohio. And I saw what he did as mayor and then as auto czar. There's a more technical term than that, but that's what most of us refer to the work he did for these communities after we went through all the difficulties in the auto industry in Lordstown, Ohio. Lordstown produces a Chevy Cruze. My wife drives one, my brother drives one, 3 people in my office drive one, and my daughter drives a Chevy Cruze, all made by Ohio workers in Youngstown, Ohio. And Jay gets a lot of the credit for that, his focus. And then after he became the auto czar, and he looked around the landscape of the number of auto plants that had shut down, he understood there was sort of a race between developers buying these old auto plants, tearing them down and using them for scrap, selling them for scrap and making a serious amount of money, or working with local communities and local businesses and local labor unions to preserve these plants, sell them to a developer who would reindustrialize those. We're seeing one of those in Dayton right now. Senator Portman and the governor and I and the Dayton Development Coalition are working to reindustrialize one of these plants in Dayton. We're seeing examples of that around the country. So Jay Williams, my point, Madam Chair, as I wrap up, is that Jay Williams understands the partnership between the federal government and what we can do with EDA, the partnership between the federal government and local elected officials, and he knows how to do that better, perhaps, than any public official I know in my state. So it's my thrill to be able to introduce Jay and have him come forward in a moment for testimony after Senator Portman speaks, and to thank the Madam Chair for being allowed to come in front of your committee.